तत्त्वबोधो विधीयते. In this beautiful and simple text, Tattvabodha, Bhagavan, first he explained the qualifications of the student, we have seen. Next, he explained about ourselves, what we are not. This is in traditional language, they call it as a Atma Anatma Vicharana. Inquiry of what is self, what is not self. Atma Anatma Vicharana. This is completely about ourselves. So this we have seen. In other words, they say it is like a Jiva Vicharana. Because in all our Vedantic textbooks, little lagging is coming in. Video and audio. No, what happened today? Okay. In all our Vedantic textbooks, main topics are three. One is Jiva, second is Jagat, and third one is Ishvara. Whatever text you can take, whether it is Viveka Chudamani or Bhagavad Gita or Tattvabodha, Atma Bodha, anything. Jiva, Jagat, and Ishvara. Swamiji, what do you mean by Jiva? Jiva is nothing but our own. Our own, right now what we are is Jiva Swarupam. So in Jiva Swarupam we know, because we have body, we have mind, we have intellect. So Bhagavan is explained this is Jiva Swarupam. This is called Jiva Vicharana. Now, from today, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji, he is starting the next Vicharana. Its name is Jagat Vicharana. What is this Jagat? Then you may ask Swamiji, what is the need to discuss about this Jagat? The reason is, this Jiva and Jagat, we cannot separate them. Because if there are no Jivas, then there is no Jagat at all. Who will talk about this Jagat if we are not there? The same time, Jivas, they cannot be, have any life without Jagat. That's why Jiva and Jagat, they go together. So we need some inquiry about what is this Jagat, what is this universe. In our Vedanta, that is also very, very important topic. This Jagat. Luckily, science also nowadays inquiring so much about this Jagat. They are saying, so Swamiji, so many principles are there, this natural laws are there, they are guiding our humanity, and we are extracting some laws, and we are getting benefit also. So, Jagat Vicharana is there in material science. Same time, Jagat Vicharana is there in spiritual science also. What our rishis and munis thought of this Jagat, our universe. Beautiful Jagat Vicharana is there. And the material of Jagat and Jiva both are same. The 5 great elements only ingredients of the universe, and the same 5 great elements are the ingredients of Jiva also. Jiva Jagat both have same elements. Now, Swamiji, how they started this inquiry regarding Jagat. Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji is starting today. This is from page number 67 in my text. From today, 79 in your textbooks. From today, we are going to discuss about universe. Jiva is ho gaya. We discussed what we are not. Detailed inquiry we did. Now about Jagat. Adha Chaturvimshati Tattva Utpatti Prakaram Vakshyamaha. Adha Chaturvimshati Tattva Utpatti Prakaram Vakshyamaha. In our Hindu culture, particularly literature, whenever we want to start next topic, we use the word atha. Atha. For example, the first sutra of Brahma Sutra is Adhato Brahma Jijnasaha. Vedavyas ji, he says, now I am going to start about Brahma Sutras. Adha. In Bhagavad Gita also we use Adha Pradamodhyayaha. So Adha one, we are changing the topic or we are initiating the new topic. Shankaracharya ji is continuing the tradition. Swamiji, what is the need? So we learned one more vishayam, one more what we call thought. Adha means we are changing the topic. Adha Chaturvimshati. Chaturvimshati means 24 in English. Chatuhu means 4 in Sanskritam. Vimshati means 20. So Chaturvimshati means 24. Tattvaha. Tattvaha means factors. This way he is initiating. Adaha, now 24 factors. Chaturvimshati Tattvaha Utpatti Prakaram. Utpatti Prakaram means how their evolution or how they manifested or their history. Vakshyamaha. I am going to explain. Bhagavan Shankaracharya is saying, now I am going to explain about 24 elements or tattvas, their history, what they are, how they were generated, and what we are doing with them. So Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji is explaining. You may ask Swamiji, you said Chaturvimshati means 24. What are these 24, Swamiji? These 24 are 5 great elements. 5 ho gaya. 5 great elements. And then 5 organs of knowledge. Jnanendriyaha. Panchabhutaha. Pancha Jnanendriyaha. Then Pancha Karmendriyaha. Organs of action. 5 plus 5 plus 5. 15, Swamiji. Pancha Pranaha. We know we have Pancha Pranas. 20. 5 great elements. 5 sense organs. 5 action organs, 5 pranas, 20. And the 4 is 4 thought modifications. We call them as mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankara. That is our subtle equipment. You know, these four are nothing but thought only. Mind, thought. Intellect, thought. Chitta, chitta means memory. It is also a thought. And the final one, the captain of all the thoughts is ahankaram. This ahankaram also a thought. 4. 4 plus 20 is equal to 24. Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji, he is initiating the topic of Jagat with this line. Now, I am going to explain about these 24 factors. Pancha Bhutani, Pancha Karmendriyani, Pancha Jnanendriyani, Pancha Pranani, Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. Together 24, I am going to explain clearly, he said. So we are very much ready. So Bhagavan is going to explain these 24. Then suddenly he brought one topic, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji. The topic name is Maya. Oh, Swamiji, Maya. Some great scholars and Mahatmas, they say, understanding Brahman is easy, but understanding Maya is little difficult because her name itself Maya. So really I'm saying, to understand Maya, we need little subtlety of our intellect. Then the path is very easy. So today we should be very careful because the topic name itself Maya. Pujya Guruji Swami Tejomayanand ji used to play one joke on Maya. One girl, she went to his father and she said, she is crying, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. And the father asked, Arey, what happened? Why are you crying? Because she said, Daddy, you put my name as Maya. I know. Daddy said, yes, Maya. You know, people are not believing me, Daddy, because my name itself Maya. So whatever I say, they're asking, you are lying, you are not true. So they're commenting so much, Daddy, she said. And this father said, Arey, my dear child, extension of Maya is there one more word. That is Maya Paramesha Shakti. The creating power of the Lord, her name is Maya. You say this way and they all will appreciate you. They all will, oblige you. Then she is happy. Why I am saying is, this Maya topic is such. From Vedanta side, if we see about Maya, it's completely, we don't like it. But the same Maya Shakti is the creating power of the Ishvara. Because of that Maya Shakti only I could speak. Brahma cannot speak. You are listening because of that Maya Shakti only. We are getting knowledge because of Maya Shakti only. The same madam. That's why she has twofold personality. One is called Avidya Maya, one is called Vidya Maya. Which is in the form of ignorance also, the same is in the form of knowledge also. In Upanishads also it is there. Maya Shakti. So we cannot say Maya is completely, untouchable. Through Maya only, we should penetrate, we should use this knowledge, and we should reach our own state, our own beingness or beingness. Truth. And this Maya, She is the power in God's hand. Daivi hesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya. Bhagavan, he says, you cannot take or you cannot comment Maya in very cheap way. Daivi hesha gunamayi. This Maya is divine. Mama Maya duratyaya. You cannot cross over her. But whoever surrendered to me, she will grasp that thing. He is very sincere and genuine devotee of the Lord. Then only she will give the way. Swami Vivekananda used to say, for example, in olden days, there were independent houses. This house owner, he will stay in the first floor somewhere in the room. You want to reach him or you want to meet him. But you know, at the gate, there used to be a big dog. It doesn't allow. Because you are a neighbor. It barks, 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 makes so much sound. The boss will hear the sound and he will come. He said, Tommy, leave the way. It will go away. And you can go to boss and you can meet him and you want to do whatever you want to do. Maya should get that voice. Daivi yesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya. You cannot jump over this dog. Definitely it will catch you and it will chase you out. If he says, leave him, allow him, then she will live. Because she is the servant of him. She cannot live without him. This is Maya Shakti. Today's our topic. Bhagavan Shankaracharya is defining Maya. Brahmastraya Sattva Raja Tamo Gunatmika Maya Asti. This is the definition for Maya. Brahmastraya Sattva Raja Tamo Gunatmika Maya Asti. Beautifully Bhagavan, he said. If you ask me, Swamiji, what is Maya? Brahmasraya. Maya is dependent on Brahma. Brahmasraya means dependent on Brahma. Maya is not an independent factor. It completely depends on Brahma. Brahmasraya. Okay, Swamiji. Brahmasraya. And then what is her own nature? Her own nature is Sattva Raja Tamo Gunatmika. Her own nature is either Sattva or Raja or Tamo. Trigunatmika Maya. So if you see Sattva Guna, then you can say this is the effect of Maya. If you see Rajoguna, then you can say this is the effect of Maya. If you see Tamoguna anywhere, then you can say this is the effect of Maya. Now you may ask one question, Swamiji, wherever we see these three gunas only, either Sattva or Raja or Tama, that's why Maya is everywhere. Like Brahma. You cannot say both are equal status. Like Brahman, Maya is throughout our life. That's what I want to say. Sometime we may be in Sattva. Sometime we may be in Rajaha. Sometime we may be in Tamaha. That means we are always in Maya. Swamiji, I am sleeping, Swamiji, I am sleeping, Swamiji. So you are Tamoguna. Swamiji, I am doing, Swamiji, I am doing, Swamiji, I am doing, Swamiji. You are Rajoguna. Swamiji, I am knowing, Swamiji, I am knowing, Swamiji, I am knowing, Swamiji. You are in Sattva Guna. Wherever knowing is there, Sattva Guna. Wherever doing is there, Rajoguna. Wherever inertia is there, Tamoguna. Trigunatmika Maya Brahmasraya Asti. But today, listen very carefully. We will discuss nice points about Maya. How she came, what she is doing, what we are with her. Very interesting. So Bhagavan first he said Brahmasraya. Then first of all, we should know what is Brahma. In last class, I gave the definition for Brahma is Bruhat Tattvat Brahma. This is the definition in Upanishads. Bruhat Tattvat Brahma. The definition for Brahma is big. Bruhat means big. This much only Upanishads gave the definition for Brahma. Big. Generally, big is an adjective, not the noun. I know. We say this elephant is very big, or this is a big elephant. This bigness is an adjective for the elephant. It qualifies the noun in general. But to define Brahma, Upanishad did not take any noun. It took adjective. So big without any noun, that means Brahma is infinite. You cannot grasp infinitude with your intellect. Because infinite means it is boundaryless. Even space also staying in Brahman. Brahman is giving place to space also. Time also. Objects also. Beings, thoughts, emotions, everything. Even for the ignorance also. Ignorance also can stay in Brahman. His limitlessness is saying this word, Brahat, big, is Brahma. Okay, Swamiji. This is one item number one. Second one is world. Now our topic is universe or world, Jagat. This Jagat is nothing but names, forms, and qualities. Nama, Rupa, Gunatmika, Jagat. If somebody asks, what are there in the world? These three only. Names, forms, and qualities. This is the Jagat. Somebody asks us, do you know Jagat or Brahma? Then we say, we know Jagat. We know Jagat. So Jagat, we are experiencing every day. I know. So for every effect, there should be one cause. Without cause, there should not be any effect. This is our knowledge. Now the question is, for this effect, what we are seeing, what we are experiencing, for this Jagat, there must be a cause. There must be a cause. Then the question is, the ultimate cause, it should be Brahman only. Because I am not created myself on my own, or any other being in the universe. They also not created me. So there should be some cause that ultimate cause must be Brahman. The simple logic is, for this effect, there should be one ultimate cause. That ultimate cause is Brahman only. Tadeva asti prarambhe. In the beginning, that and that alone is there. So it must be cause. And this world is effect. Now, okay, Swamiji. In understanding this, we don't have any doubts. The same topic in religion, we say Bhagavan is the cause for the world. In Vedanta, we say truth is the cause for the world. Satyam or Brahma. In religion, we say God is the cause for the world. Because you have not created anything in this world. You have not created space, air, water, fire, earth. This world is nothing but these 5 elements only. And all the jivas are nothing but these 5 elements only. If we are not created, and you ask the 5 elements, do you create yourself? They say, we don't know who created us. So the supreme factor, we say it is Brahman is the cause and the Jagat is the effect. Okay, Swamiji. And the next point is, the nature of Brahman is such a, it is, we already discussed, it is pure existence, pure consciousness, and pure bliss. Pure existence. Pure existence means it doesn't have any kind of birth and death. Sometime existence was there. After some time it will not be there. You cannot say for Brahman. Brahman existence is eternal. Nitya Vastu. And Brahman is consciousness. Consciousness means Shuddha Jnana Swarupa. And the third one is he is Ananda Swarupa because he is infinite. Nothing can bind him. He is pure bliss. This is the nature of Brahman. And if you see the world, completely contradiction. In the world, nothing is Nitya Vastu. Everything is perishing. It was not there. It is now. After some time, it will not be there. This is the nature of the world. And the second one is, in world, everything is inert. If you ask my body, do you know yourself? It doesn't respond. You ask my emotion, do you know how you made it up? It doesn't, I don't know. You are, everything is inert. Otherwise, you can say something is a reflection of knowledge only we will get in the world. And the third one is, world is nothing but sorrow. Wherever we touch pain and sorrow, pain and sorrow, pain and sorrow. Swamiji, you said, cause is the Nitya Vastu, cause is the Jnana Vastu, cause is the bliss. But the effect is completely contradiction, Swamiji. This is Anitya Vastu, Ajnana Vastu, Dukkha Vastu, Jagat. From this kind of cause, how can this type of effect can come? As the cause, so the effect. It should be. But the cause is completely different and effect is completely different. Swamiji, how it happened? He is Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta Swarupa. Where we ourselves, we think Anitya, Ajnana, Dukkha, Swarupa. How it can happen, Swamiji? Now, Vedanta, it brought the topic of Maya. Guruji used to say, Vedanta postulated the concept of Maya. It is a postulation. Maya came. Vedanta said, you, my dear student, you are very genuine because you are understanding what I am teaching. I spoke about Brahman and you are experiencing this world. I spoke about Brahman and you are experiencing this world. And I said Brahman is the cause for this world, but they are not going together. They're completely contradicting each other. You are saying Ananda Brahma Swarupa, but in world everywhere is Dukkham. Brahman is Nitya Vastu, but in this world is everything is perishing. Then Vedanta said, my dear student, there is one Vishayam that is called Maya. Now I will tell how it happened. This is all because of Maya. And he gave the definition for Maya is, if you have notes, you can write also. Maya definition is Ya Ma Sa Maya. This is the definition for Maya. Ya Ma Sa Maya. Ya means she. Ya. Ma. Ma ante which is not. Which is not. Ya ma means which is not. Still, sa is the magic of Sanskrit words. Sa means we will experience it. Which is not. But it will be in experience. That is Maya. That is Maya. Which is not. Still, we will experience it. We are experiencing it. That is the definition for Maya. Swamiji, this Vedanta definitions are very difficult, Swamiji. Ya, ma, sa, Maya. Which is not. Still, it is under experience. Swamiji, can you give any example for this definition? Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji said, of course I'll give. That too, my favorite example I am going to give. Then student asked, Shankar Bhagavat Pada, what is your favorite example? He said, Rajju Sarpa Bhranti. Rajju Sarpa Bhranti means in English, rope and snake illusion. Then there is a story. Once I told already. So one man is walking on a road. Night time. Little light is there. Suddenly he has seen one big snake. Gurudev used to say, this snake has two red eyes. Hood out. Swamiji, it's moving also, Swamiji. Swamiji, I have seen big spots on the snake. Definitely it is cobra, Swamiji. And he started screaming. Because snake, that too night time. Nobody is there with me. Shivering started. Fear started. I am screaming, help me, help me, help me. I am going to die, I am going to die. Very big snake, very big snake. A snake is there. And on the way, another man came. In his hand, there is a torchlight. He is with his torchlight, he has seen that snake. Suddenly, there is no snake because it's completely a rope. This man understood rope as snake. Then all snake effects he is experiencing. This is Maya. Which is not, still we are experiencing. Snake is not on the rope. But as long as you see the snake, so long all sattva, raja, tama, all the gunas and their multiplications we will experience. Whenever sattva guna comes, we say, Swamiji, I am so pleasant, I am good, Swamiji, I am good man. Whenever raja comes, raja guna comes, Swamiji, Swamiji, I am very dynamic, useful man. Whenever tamas comes, Swamiji, I am completely useless, fit for nothing, Swamiji. Mahatma says, Are beta, you are saying you are good, you are dynamic, and then you are useless. But what I am saying is, you only, not you plus something. That plus always it changes. It is your shadow. Like how we have a shadow for grass body, the same, this Maya is a shadow on the Brahman. Originally, it doesn't have any kind of existence also, like snake. This is Maya, which is not, still we experience. This is the definition Vedanta gave. Ya, ma, sa, Maya, which is not, still we are experiencing. My dear student, this is called Maya. And one more aspect of Maya is, they say, Maya has two powers. Maya has two powers. They are powers. One power is, its name is Avarana Shakti, veiling power. The second one is Vikshepa Shakti, projecting power. One is Avarana Shakti, second one is Vikshepa Shakti, veiling power and projection power. These two are the powers of the Maya. Then Swamiji, please tell, what do you mean by Avarana Shakti, veiling power? This veiling power is nothing but ignorance. Ignorance. This veiling power cannot create anything. Veiling power cannot create anything, but it will hide the truth. Veiling power. And the Vikshepa Shakti is the creating power. It will project everything. All names and forms and qualities and impressions, everything will be projected by this projecting power. These two together, they call as Maya. In our previous example, rope was there. You are seeing snake. Between this thought, that half knowledge is ignorance of rope. It is there. That ignorance of rope is called veiling power. And projection of snake is called projection power. So these two are there. One is you are not seeing the rope. That is ignorance, veiling power. The other is you are projecting snake. This is Vikshepa Shakti, projecting power. These two together called as Maya. Gurudev, Swami Chinmayanandaji, he used to play with this Maya thought. Because if somebody asks you, where is Maya? The answer is, Maya is in my head. Swamiji, this Maya only hiding our true nature, and it is projecting what we are not as we are. This is very, 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 very subtle thought in our mind, in our intellect. Maya. He used to give example. This Maya will manifest in all our experiences. Gurudev example is, if somebody asks you, my dear sir, what is the time now? He asked, my dear sir, what is the time now? Actually, I don't know what is the time. So the answer is, do you know how we give? Sir, I don't know the time, but I think maybe 9:30. Generally, we give answer this way only. Sir, I don't know, but I think it will be 9:30, around 9:30 we say. Now see in this answer, you don't know the time. Then why don't you keep quiet? Sir, I don't know. Now, you extend the thought with projection. I think it will be around 9:30. This is projection. This is veiling. Together the thought comes. Whenever we are ignorant, our ignorance will be there and remain the extension, our projection also will be there. This is the power of Maya in every thought. If somebody asks, who are you? We don't say, I don't know who am I. We say something else. I am Chaitanya. I am this body. I am this mind. I am this thought. This is all what we are not, we are projecting. But the fact is, we don't have the answer for who am I. If you know the answer, who are you, why are you giving multiple answers? Sir, what are you asking? I am here. I am here. So this is the power of Maya. Veiling plus projection. Together it functions. We don't know Brahma. We projected the world. We don't know Atma. We projected the body. We don't know the rope. We projected the snake. This snake will give fear. This snake is very harmful as long as you don't know its origin. This body is painful. This mind is sorrowful. This intellect is very restless as long as you don't know your own identity. This world is changing. This world is troubling me as long as you don't know the origin of the world. This Maya can play so much. If you start penetrating through her, what it is. That's why the cause of the main principle of spiritual inquiry is think of that, with the material what we are thinking. Swami Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi used to say, question this way, Manasantu Kim. Generally, we inquire what is there in the mind. What is the subject, what is the matter in the mind? For example, what is there in the mind means any emotions, objects, beings. So these things we discuss, but we never inquire what is mind. What is this? Then mind will fade away. It will disappear. If you don't think, it will play. Avichara kruto bandhaha vicharena nivartate. If you don't do inquiry, then it will play. If you start doing inquiry, then it will disappear. Avichara kruto bandha vicharena nivartate. Both veiling power and projecting power both will disappear. This is Maya Shakti. And one more point about Maya is, Swamiji, you said Brahman is. And now you are explaining Maya, it has both ignorance and projection. And it is a power. When we see together Brahma and Maya, that is called Ishvara in Vedanta. That's why the definition for Ishvara is Brahma, Maya, Sahita Shakti is equal to Ishvara. For example, here now I am Venkata Chaitanya. My Shuddha Chaitanyam plus my Avidya. Together, this Jiva. The same way, Ananta Brahma plus Maya is equal to Ishvara. Then the next science will start, because we are talking about Jagat. This Ishvara is Srishti Karta, Srishti Sthiti, Srishti Laya, creator, sustainer, destroyer, God, generator, operator, destroyer, we say. With this Maya Shakti, he created the entire world. With this Maya Shakti only, he is feeding the entire world. And finally, with this Maya Shakti only, he dissolves everything. That God concept will come when Brahma plus this Shakti together. Brahma plus Maya together we call Ishvara. This Ishvara only Srishti Karta, Srishti Poshaka, Srishti Layakar. You see. These are all Vedanta topics. Slowly we will get clarity regarding this universe also. It's a big science. Then you may ask me, Swamiji, you said because we don't know Maya, or we are inquiring the cause of the universe, one factor came Maya and her features we are seeing. Now our question is, in this world, how this Maya will walk? With what kind of saris she will walk, Swamiji? This Maya Devi, she wears 3 kinds of saris. What are they, Swamiji? Sattva, Raja, Tam. Sometimes she is in Sattvika. Sometimes she is in Rajasic mood. Sometimes she is in Tamasic. That's why in this world, only one and only 3 manifestations are there. One is knowledge, second one is action, third one is inertia. Knowledge is the effect of Sattva Guna. Activity is the effect of Rajoguna. And inertia is the effect from Tamoguna. So the forms of Maya is Trigunatmika. So whenever Trigunatmika, or whenever we are in these moods, Gurudev used to call as climatical conditions of the mind. Beautifully he used to say. These gunas are climatical conditions of the mind. Sometimes so nice, Swamiji, Sattva. Sometimes garam. Heat, hot, Swamiji. Sometimes both are nice. Where he is, drowning, Swamiji. Climatical conditions of the mind are 3 only. Good mood, what we call very turbulent mood, and a completely passive. These three are the moods. And sometimes some permutations and combinations also will be there. In our personality also, we cannot call any man as 100% sattva, 100% rajas, and 100% of tamas. Few people are dominant with sattva guna. They are very bright. Few people are very dominant with rajoguna. Sattva tama will be there. They are very dynamic. Few people are very dominant with inertia, tamoguna. Sattva raja may be there. Permutations and combinations. So whatever that Maya's effects are these three ones: sattva, raja, and tamogunas. These are the Maya. So what we should do is, they are there. They are there. First of all, we should accept. Then we need, as a jivas, our evolution. We should be complete. Upanishad used to say, Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. My dear student, you are not this finite, ignorant, paltry, this. You are not this. You are Purna Swarupa, complete. You should start your journey from Tamoguna to Rajoguna. From Rajoguna to Sattvaguna. You reach Sattvaguna, that Sattvaguna definitely will lead into Sattvatita Sthiti. That Gunatita Sthiti. Because Sattva is nothing but knowledge. This knowledge can push us from present state of condition to that fullness. So this should be our attitude. Swamiji, Trigunas are there, they're binding me, they're troubling me. No. You observe them. And tamas to rajas. We should not be lazy and dull and not interested. No. We should drop them. Then start action. Gurudev used to say. Many people, they say, what is the best medicine for the progress of the world? He used to give the answer, activity. Activity. Day long we should do. Activity. That activity will give freshness to our mind and sharpness to our intellect. If you sit quiet and if you start sleeping and wasting time, that completely keeps our inner equipment a very, very what we call very shoddy mode. Drag it out. Put it on the road. You start work. The work will polish us. And from the selfish work to, we should jump to selfless work. Nisvardha karma or nishkama karma. Kama karma to nishkama karma. We should work for society, or we should work for a good cause. At least we should maintain an attitude such that arrogantly I should not do anything. Humble, polite, and respecting everyone, accepting everyone. Slowly that action itself will lead into sattva. When sattva comes, we start learning. We start educating ourselves. We educate ourselves. That jnanam, among all the jnana, among all the knowledges, this Atma Jnanam is supreme. In Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan, he himself said, Vidyanam Atma Vidyaham. In so many knowledges, I am the self-knowledge. This Shuddha Pavana Jnanam, it will push this individual into his own nature. That is all full, all complete, and no more any kind of mental weaknesses. They only binding us, nothing any external. Thinking process, a small adjustment in our mind and intellect. This is what I said, piercing into Maya. This is the piercing. This is the way we should pierce through the Maya, Tama, Raja, and Sattva, and break it up. So this is about Maya. And from the next class, he will explain what is this Jagat and everything. So we will see in our next class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.